On the perfect January summer's day in downtown Adelaide, the Santos Tour Down Under in its 12th year completed with a 90-kilometre stage 6, taking the survivors of this race, and only 3 of them not completing the full course, on a circuit of 4.5 kilometres 20 times, the start being given there by Jane Lomax Smith, who was the Lord Mayor of Adelaide when this race first started and now is the Minister of Tourism.
Well, the 129 riders, Phil, they're facing up to 20 laps of this rather testing course, I have to say, but the racing conditions are ideal on this final day of the race.
The riders chasing an 11.7 deficit between Luis Leon Sanchez and Andre Greipel, the only leader of this race since day one last Tuesday. All he had to do was watch the men closest to him and let the others do the racing. Martin Kohler making an attack here for Cadell Evans' BMC team.
The race was very rapid over the first 40 minutes or so before eventually a breakaway did start to form off the front end of the main field, but it really was a first part of the race controlled by HTC Columbia, the team of the overall leader Andre Greipel. But none of the breakaways were really able to break the stranglehold of the front end of the main field.
The riders were lapping the 4.5 kilometre course in a shade over 5 minutes. So it was, in the words of cycling parlance, full on, as riders chased the small bonus sprints to see if they could get closer to Andre Greipel. Greipel was in the grandstand seats, sitting back and watching. In this sprint here, at the end of lap number 8, it was a big battle for those bonus seconds. Greg Henderson getting the 3 seconds just ahead of the South African Robbie Hunter and Melbourne's Baden Cook. Henderson was now in the driving seat for a high finish.
Then after that, the counter-attack saw a group of 3 riders moving off the front end of the main field. And the main field then all of a sudden decided to turn off. They weren't too keen to chase everything down. But this sprint here was really all about the King of the Mountains classification.
Yes, in the blue, Valery Dmitriev, the King of the Mountains leader. At the back in the white was Thomas Rohregger and Michael Carrel of France. It was only a formality for Rohregger, who sat at the back, went third over the top of the Montefiore Hill and took just a few points. He actually won this competition with a day to go. The Austrian had ridden the week very well indeed.
He capped it off with gaining big points on the Wollonga Hill. Then it was the turn of the man who is the champion of Holland to try and stay off the front end of the main field. But again, the peloton was sprinting as if this was the finishing line. They were searching to see who could get themselves just 3 seconds in this time bonus sprint.
This was towards the end of lap 12 of 20. More bonus seconds here, and a big sprint again saw the arrival of Robbie McEwen, who hadn't done a thing all week but was getting better every day. He slipped in again ahead of Hunter, and third the American George Hincapie. McEwen himself was now up to 3rd place overall in the race.
And if Andre Greipel thought he was going to have an easy ride on this final day of the Santos Tour Down Under, it was up to Wesley Sulzberger, because he felt that he had a chance of wresting the overall lead away in the final day of the race. And at one stage built up a lead of 45 seconds over the main field with Trent Lowe and the Italian Frattini.
In the lead overall by 6 seconds, he was now a big danger, and Wesley Sulzberger, with half a lap to go, was swept up by the field. It was now down once again to a field sprint, and all eyes towards Andre Greipel, who had never been beaten in a field sprint yet. But he didn't count on Team Sky. With the whole train leading out here, it was Ben Swift, their new signing, who tried to go clear. A rush in the orange by Graham Brown's team, and then followed the team of Greipel himself, while in the red it was Gert Stegmans. Everybody wanted to win the final stage, and as it came towards the line, it was a desperate finish, but Team Sky got a 1-2. Chris Sutton winning ahead of his teammate Greg Henderson. Graham Brown was in 3rd place, and just behind was Greipel, who had won the Tour.
Well, Chris, I think everybody's been asking about an Aussie victory this week, and we were looking at Sky and thought it was going to be a Kiwi, but you came straight out of that pack.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. We spoke about our team tactics last night, and then the meeting again this morning, and it's our biggest thing. It's all about teamwork, and as you saw, we took control around 2 kilometres to go, and we just had the perfect lead out, and obviously I'm the last man to lead out Greg, and I laid off Ben Swift, who accelerated a lot, and I ran at Swifty because it's an uphill finish, and yeah, I just went as long as I could, and if Hendy can come round, he comes round, but I mean, yeah, I held on, and we went 1-2, which is incredible.
So you become the 2nd rider in the history of this race to win it on 2 occasions, joining Stuart O'Grady. A certain amount of pride for you doing that.
Yeah, of course, I'm really happy, and for the team as well. The team did a really good job the last weekend. Yeah, I'm just really happy today.
I should imagine he is, as he pulls on the final ochre jersey, the only man to wear it from day 1 to the end of day 6.
Yes, he was pretty greedy about that, and pretty greedy with stage victories too, because 3 out of the 6 days went to this man, Andre Greipel. But he was, of course, Phil, put under a little bit of pressure on the last day by that last-minute attack by Wesley Sulzberger.
Greipel winning the event from a previous winner in Luis Leon Sanchez by 11 seconds. Henderson, with that win bonus, finishes the race in 3rd place. Robbie McEwen finished in 4th. It was a great occasion, and South Australia celebrated it well.
Phil hanging on to that 13 to 14 second advantage over the front end of the peloton. But Columbia HTC are a very well